Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Elite City Podcast. Today, we're here to talk about one thing and one thing only, which is Blood and Guts, which everyone, I'm sure, has a lot of things to say about. We have a few guests with us. Blasco's not here today, but we do have Jay. Hello, Jay.
Hi.
And we have Biddy. Hello, Biddy.
Hi.
And we have our special guest,
Pittsburgh Penguins head coach Des Nuts, live from Sweden.
That joke will apply to possibly 5 people. Anyway, this is Ryan, who you may remember from last year, who watched a single episode of AEW Dynamite last year. The first time he'd ever watched any wrestling, right? Not just recently.
Well, define recent. I guess I probably watched some when I was 4.
You probably watched like Hulk Hogan at some point.
Yeah, that was definitely there, like 1990.
All right. And then you went a whole year without watching anything. And we would have had you on for
last time. You ended the show last time by asking me, do you think after this you will watch wrestling again? And I said, maybe.
Yes. And then you waited a whole year.
I waited over a year.
And we were going to do the Halloween episode, which we did last year. We're going to do it again. But then we decided there was a show called Blood and Guts coming up, and you had to watch that one. So you did watch that one. And we're gonna go through it, but what are your just overall impressions?
My overall impressions is I think the men are going to have to work harder before they can get to the level of the women.
Oh, snap.
That was a legitimate problem. We talked about it on the podcast actually for several weeks actually. They were building up this women's Blood and Guts for a while. Like they'd had feuds going on for, months and months that eventually culminated in the match that we saw. The men's Blood and Guts, I think, correct me if anyone else feels like I'm wrong. It seems like they just did it to do it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, people won't watch the show unless we have dudes on it.
And I know I liked it. I liked it more than I thought I would like it. And I will get into why later. But we'll start with the women's match. So Ryan,
damn,
yeah,
yeah.
When we told you that this was going to be a show called Blood and Guts, what were you expecting?
Honestly, it sounded more Halloween themed than the Halloween episode.
Did you expect like creepy horror? Like why did you think it was called that? You didn't know, so why did you think it was called that?
You're right. I didn't know. I figured there would be violence, given that it is wrestling. But I think I expected it to be more extreme than it was. But this leads to a really good question already that your audience is going to laugh at me asking. Was any of that real blood?
All of it was real blood.
Yes, every bit.
How did Sky Blue not pass out? Because she was bleeding early on from the head. That is going to cause someone to faint.
Okay, I have a take on this. This was one of my notes that I wrote as I was watching. So the commentary obviously was like, oh, they're bleeding so much. She's bled so much. Women all over the world will tell you that's not a lot of blood. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's definitely worse in another time.
And what I've heard,
I'm putting my wedding ring on my hand here to emphasize that I know women.
What I've heard from
I am a professional woman knower.
Are you aware of how they get the blood?
Usually from within veins.
No, but how do they make themselves bleed? Have you seen this before?
It's called blading.
Called blading.
Okay.
So what they typically do is they'll have like a razor blade either somewhere in their gear or like somewhere hidden in the ring, or the ref will be holding or something. And when they're down, they'll like slice. You notice when Sky Blue got knocked down when she started bleeding, she was like, they cut the camera away from her for a while and they were showing Willow. There's 2 ways of doing it. You can either slice across like your hairline where like, you can't see it, like a thin slice, or some people will just like jab themselves in the head with the razor blade because that looks more realistic. I think she sliced it. It seemed like a slicing blade.
Yeah, it was very. Yeah.
It was, and what I've heard though is they'll take blood thinners or aspirin or something prior to the match so that
Well-
when they bleed, it comes out more and drips more and looks
And-
more graphic.
And
That's the
also,
hemoglobin.
head wounds just bleed a lot. Like one time
Yeah.
I hit myself and accidentally hit myself in the forehead with my car door corner and bled profusely.
So when they started with Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale, what are your thoughts on both of them? Besides the amount of blood.
Okay. My very first thought was Sky Blue's rod seemed illegal.
Oh, the kendo stick with the barbed wire on it, like the
Yes,
wooden
which
thing?
did
Yeah.
make a guest appearance later on in the men's match. Probably because none of their weapons were working. Typical men. But yeah, she comes in dragging this thing. Like, that just feels like it should not be allowed.
Well, there's no rules in Blood and Guts.
Yeah. It's like a big
That's
cage.
what
It's
I'm
obviously a
hoping.
big cage match.
They
I
don't
have
have
watched
rules.
cage matches after, because this led to a whole lot of questions. My next thought was, what happens if somebody rips her nose ring out? Which then I noticed Willow Nightingale also a nose ring.
You don't know this, but in a previous episode, a previous show, they put a lock through Willow Nightingale's ear where she has her ear pierced, and then chained her to the ring through her ear.
Everything is art.
I wish I could convey Ryan's face right now, but I haven't. It's just it's perfect. It's just awe.
It's interesting to find out that, like, some of the little things I was noticing, because I get obsessive over little things.
Yes.
I have a whole rant about camera techniques later
Yeah.
for the men's match.
It seems like an especially hard match to film, to record, to air live, with being in a cage and 10 to 12 people and stuff happening all over the place, and that seems difficult.
It is, and overall, I think they did a pretty good job. There's just one camera operator I have issues with. One.
All right.
But they didn't show up until the men's match. So
All right.
back we go. Okay. It is interesting to find out that all of these things I have little notes on that I noticed all work back into some kind of long storyline. Like, I'm seeing it as, here are these people coming in to beat each other down 6-on-6. Not that I could tell what team any of them were on. Let's get some color choreographing here. At least in the men's, half of them were bald. But I think some of the ones who were on the other team were also bald.
Nothing wrong with being bald, by the way.
I'm not shaming the bald.
While you're on the storylines, did you get an idea of, I mean, not the backstory, obviously, but did you get an idea of who these people are mad at or who these people are siding with? Like, did they convey that to you?
No.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, there were little moments, but there was also a lot of, like, oh, as you know this. No, I don't. But then I'm assuming most of the people watching do know what their backstory is. Like, I remember last time we talked about the CEO because I was fascinated by that concept, that there was somebody named the CEO. I don't remember any of the storyline that we talked about there. I don't remember any of her backstory. I just know there's a character named the CEO.
Well, did you
and then
notice
she
she
has
had
a beat somebody else now?
Well, did you see she had like all of her belts? All of them?
Okay. This brings me to something that I have become obsessed with, which is multiple people came in wearing belts. Isn't there? I thought there was only one belt.
Yeah, there's way too many belts.
Oh,
Way
And
too
then
many
they
belts.
showed this table. It looks like you're at a flea market and the Hot Topic showed up with all these belts.
I mean, Mercedes Renee, CEO, that's kind of her gimmick. She goes to like a bunch of smaller federations, smaller wrestling companies, indie companies, and wins their
across
title,
the
and
world. Yeah.
then shows up on Dynamite. Look, I have 12 belts, and like the gimmick is, yes, you have 12 belts, but you're going to like the Northern Illinois Independent Wrestling Agency, and
Yeah, it's like a nobody knows.
and some
like,
of them are real companies. I'm not, if
Right.
anyone's listening,
Yeah.
like they're not. Some of them are like well-known companies, but
Right, like,
some of
isn't
them are
Isn't
very
she
small.
holding the CMLL title right
Yes.
now?
Yeah, and the
Mhm.
ROH title. I think she has the Rev Pro title. She has a New Japan title, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She has a lot of
Like
belts.
How many belts are
Yeah.
there?
In AEW or overall?
Let's just go AEW.
There's a lot. And
Okay.
they're adding more.
They're adding more belts.
Yes.
Mhm.
There's going to be a women's tag title belts, which is 2 people.
Way overdue though for that.
Yeah, that's
Way
a
overdue.
good one. They should have added that one. And then there's going to be something called a national title, which is not to be confused with a world title, international title, or continental title, which are all different.
So many belts. It makes sense that somebody was dressed as a Final Fantasy character.
Yeah.
So after Willow Nightingale and
Oh, can I ask one more Willow Nightingale
yeah,
question?
go ahead.
The metal garbage can lid,
Yes.
is that a reference to Stomp?
Is it? I don't know. I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know.
It's a
It says
wrestling
she's from
trope.
New York.
Garbage can lid is a wrestling trope.
Okay. Because she's from New York. She had a very colorful outfit that just reminded me of the one time I went to go see Stomp.
Now, did you understand the basic outline of the match? How like there's 2 people and then someone else shows up from one team and someone else shows up from was that made clear?
Yes, that was made very clear. Although there was a line where they said the match doesn't really begin until all 12 women are locked into the cage. And I'm watching this with my wife. This is her first time watching wrestling, and she just puts down her computer and goes, "Go on." I think Rick discovered her Blue Sky feed partway
Yes.
through. And
Basically, what they mean by that is you can't win the match.
oh,
till
okay.
everyone- till
Because by
everyone's
the
in the
time
ring.
everybody showed up, there were a lot of corpses,
Yes.
That's the idea.
a lot of dead bodies.
Now the only knock that people had on not before the match happened was the inclusion of Mercedes and Chris Statlander, because the men's match, as you know, was 5-on-5, and typically Blood and Guts matches are 5-on-5, and this one was
You just hated that
6-on-6.
because you're sexist.
No, I'm saying that because the women's match was built up really.
Sorry to the audience. I am just trying to make Jay laugh at the moment. Rick is not sexist. He is a lovely individual.
The women's match was built up really well between. You didn't watch any of this, but the women's match was built up really well between like the 5 people who were. There were some injuries, so they weren't necessarily the 5 people who were supposed to be in this match. But anyway, the match was built up really well with the ongoing feuds between the 2 of them. And then I think like 2 weeks ago, they decided they wanted Mercedes Moné in the match because she's a good wrestler and a well-known, like she's a big name. So then they decided they wanted her in the match, and we're just like, she's here too. So it was kind of like, we're going to have 6-on-6 just because we want her in the match.
I don't think she made it worse.
No, she didn't make it worse.
Oh no, she's
She's very
like,
good.
Probably the best, like for wrestling athleticism wise, the best wrestler. She's not the best on the mic, but wrestling wise,
Yeah, she's very, very good.
She's
one of the best.
Yeah.
The only reason I don't think she made it worse. I think that's a lot of people to keep track of and a lot of stuff going on.
It was a lot. And they all had a unique look to them, which also made it a vibrant cornucopia. And not just because of Willow's pants, which on their own were a vibrant pastiche.
Okay,
Honestly,
but
she had my favorite outfit of all of them.
all the women who wore white understood the assignment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I just want to put that out there because
Makes
anybody
perfect
in
sense.
white was just drenched in blood, and it fit the motif of Blood and Guts.
It makes
So-
perfect sense to do that.
Mhm.
Did anyone ever figure out, when Julia Hart came in and they both teamed up on Willow Nightingale, her and Sky Blue, and then Julia went looking in the turnbuckles and I was like, where? And did they ever find the thing?
I don't know.
They
were-
clearly had hit the
Lifting
thing.
very slowly.
I don't know if I caught that.
At the very beginning, Julia was like, let's go get it. And they went into like the turnbuckle and they started searching through all the turnbuckles.
Yeah.
on one side of the ring.
Their hand at the top, one of them's got their hand at the bottom.
And she goes, where is it? Like they
way
hid
too
something.
long on it, expecting them to get it.
And then I don't think they ever found the thing, whatever they
I
were
don't think
supposed to
so either.
find. I don't think they found it. It didn't matter, but it was just, they didn't find the thing.
Well,
I want you to know that I have Statlander listed in my notes as knife shirt champion woman.
fair.
Now we're gonna go through the people next after Julia Hart.
All right.
Harley Cameron. What did you think of Harley Cameron? Everyone.
Oh God, she's one of those that
Amazing.
can like do no wrong. And Ryan, was this your first time ever seeing puppets in wrestling?
Oh, the K-pop demon hunter from Sesame Street.
No, that was Mercedes. That was a puppet
Yeah.
of Mercedes.
No, that's the K-pop demon hunter.
It's Puppet Monet.
They had a,
Yeah.
a
K-pop
feud of
demon
puppets.
hunter. Look, I have a child who just became obsessed with this. So all I see these days are YouTube videos of the K-pop demon hunter girls, and that's from K-pop. That whole hair being purple.
So Harley Cameron's thing was she started off as like a kind of like a manager host type person, and she was barely on. She was like in really short segments where she was like the not most important person in the thing, but she was just so funny and entertaining in all of those little segments that she was in that now everyone she worked with is no longer on the show, and she is in big matches because she's just very entertaining.
She's
And-
funny. Very
And she tried to become teammates with Mercedes Monet, and one of the ways that she tried to win her over a while ago was through the puppet Monet. And she's a ventriloquist. She is actually a ventriloquist.
She's incredible. Yeah, she plays guitar too, and she can sing. She's
very
awesome.
talented.
She's very
And she
awesome.
speaks
Play
Chinese.
guitar and
Oh
sing.
yeah, she's multilingual. She's awesome.
I'm sorry, ventriloquist.
Yes, she's a
Yeah.
ventriloquist.
Mhm.
She'll do Puppet Monet where Puppet Monet talks, and she's like just looking
No,
around.
she's
like,
legit. She,
she can actually do it.
This is the
She's
second
really
most
good at it.
surprising thing I have learned today.
It was such
So
a
she-
clever reveal too, with when she took the puppet off, and it was just the brass knuckle.
That was great.
It was great.
that
Like,
was awesome.
it was such a good reveal.
So
Yeah,
if you didn't get it,
It's
Mercedes
a
hates
sudden
Puppet
puppet
Monet
appeared.
because Harley Cameron tried to win her over with Puppet Monet, and Mercedes hates Puppet Monet. So that's why she was upset with her for that.
Well, didn't she also like have Puppet Monet and like put her through a table of pies or something?
Cake. It was cake, I think.
Cake, yeah.
Yeah. It was
Anyway,
pretty funny.
sorry.
It's all right. All good.
So after Harley Cameron, next entrant, Tekla. What'd you think of Tekla, anyone? Tekla is known as the toxic spider. She was the one who's flipping upside down, doing the spider stuff.
She has a gymnast background. Can you
Mhm.
tell?
Is she the maniac or was that someone else?
Well, they kind of all are.
Okay.
She's the one that had the cut off like t-shirt sweatshirt thing.
Remember when they got outside the ring and someone flipped upside down and did a thing?
Who looks like a Mortal Kombat reject who decided to do auditions for Street Fighter.
Yes,
Yes.
that's her.
She had weird contacts in too.
Mm-hmm. But she's the spider.
Toxic spider.
She realizes that the defining feature of spiders isn't the color of their eyes, but that they have 8 of them, right?
No, it's that they flip upside down sometimes.
I think it's that they have 8 legs, actually.
They have both. 8 legs. And I almost said
So-
and 8 spiders. 8 legs and 8 eyes.
And then following her, Jamie Hayter, who Jamie Hayter is confusing because she has a really cool like dancey theme, but suddenly now she's also from the 70s. Which-
Yeah. She didn't used to be, right? Like when
No,
AEW
when
first
she
started?
came back from injury, she decided to be from the
Yeah,
70s, which I
'cause I
get that it's a
remember-
more unique look, but
Right.
it doesn't really fit her, in my opinion.
The theme needs to change or something if
But the
she's
theme is
gonna-
so good. She
I
can't
know it
change
is a
the
good theme. It is a good theme.
It's very
yeah.
good.
So did she go through like an injury that led to a coma to leading her to think she's a time traveler?
No, that's somebody else.
That's Tony Storm. It did happen. Someone just wrong character.
We'll talk about Tony Storm when we get there.
Yeah, we have a lot of notes about Tony Storm.
Tony
I have
Storm
a
is
lot to
awesome.
talk about Tony Storm.
So Jamie Hayter was the one who brought in the bag that was supposed to like be filled with tax, and then I think the bag broke and the tax kind of didn't go where they wanted them to go. That was Jamie Hayter.
They ended up in a skateboard
That was later.
later.
Different tax, different guy.
Yeah, I'm aware. What some of them were men and the others were good at wrestling.
Yes, but the Jamie Hayter was supposed to. It looked like she was supposed to pour the tax all over the ring, and I think the bag spilled, like because you could see them outside the ring. So
Mhm.
that all the spots they tried to do with the tax didn't really.
No, but they were yelling about them like they were there.
They were they would follow the tax and kind of be like, right on the tax. I'm like,
What about the
there's, like,
tax? And I'm like,
tax.
what
I mean,
tax?
there's maybe a handful. Like it was. I think that was supposed to be more dramatic than it was.
Right.
And Megan Bain, who you know is the big one, probably. She's very tall and very strong.
Mhm.
Oh,
And-
is she the one who looked like Melania Trump as a Valkyrie coming in?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yes.
She's also really Penelope Ford, who came out with her with the little wings on, and she was supposed to be in this match, but she was
injured.
So
Hence the arm brace. Thing.
There's a
Yes,
lot of
hence the arm brace.
subbing in and out in wrestling.
there was a lot of subbing in and out. Then you
Well,
had Chris
that's-
Statlander, as the
Yeah.
champion.
Mhm.
Of course, yeah. Knife shirt, belt lady.
And then we've talked about Mercedes, and then Mina Shirakawa. What did you think of Mina Shirakawa?
Mina's great.
Mina's
I
awesome.
think always. I loved her little shimmy.
I love when she did the shimmy, and then like half unconscious
And then Chris is
Statlander
like,
on the floor does it too. I just love the concept of you're in a brutal match and you're bleeding and you're like knocked out, half conscious on the floor, and you're like, oh, my friend is dancing. I must join him.
Chris is like half across the room, like,
Yeah.
Why was her theme song accordion music?
Why not?
I mean, good enough answer.
She came from a Japanese federation and she'd been in AEW before. Before she worked for Stardom, which is a Japanese wrestling company, and
Okay,
she'd been in AEW a few times before that.
I don't think accordions are that common in
No,
Japan.
but this is a whole thing.
It's not
So-
Poland.
So then she came to AEW officially, like she signed with the company, though she'd appeared there previously, and they changed her theme to something else. And the internet got mad enough that they changed it, that during the course of her like 10-minute match, when she won, they had already gone back to the old theme because people were so upset.
That's called being prepared on the production side.
So whatever you may think of the accordion music, it's very popular.
I didn't say it was a bad thing. It just kind of caught me by surprise, especially coming from a Japanese artist. Yeah, I'm calling.
And then
her
we're
an
down.
artist.
Then we're down to the last two people. The second last person in the cage, Marina Shafir, who wore boots and then took them off before.
I
coming
had a
into the
note
match.
about that.
Yes.
I said, hang on.
This is a great podcast.
Hang
Good
on.
luck.
I said, Marina, never show your feet for free.
But her thing is, she comes from MMA, so she
Right. So she's
wrestles barefoot. That's her thing.
But I
But-
love how she came into the match, threw Chris Statlander onto a hidden bed of nails, which I enjoy. Ryan is showing us his feet, by the way. Again, this is a video. This is an audio podcast. None of this.
I'm
is-
not getting paid, so I am
None of this is going
disobeying.
to work. So Marina Shafir came in and revealed that she'd hidden a bed of nails in the side of the ring and then threw Chris Statlander on it. What did you think of that? How was that?
Feels illegal.
I mean, it's all illegal.
Feels
But it was
illegal.
legal for
still.
the
It
match.
feels like illegally illegal.
Like to hide a bed of nails on the side of the ring and then throw someone through it.
Specifically that last part. I don't think there's any laws against having a bed of nails somewhere. But I feel like putting somebody's head into them is not good, even though it's supposed to be like if you have even nails all along, it doesn't actually hurt to lie down because they're distributing the pressure, right?
But I think that's lying down, not falling directly.
that's not
on top
being
of.
thrown onto
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I do think hiding the bed of nails in advance shows some sort of premeditation that would make the crime worse.
It does. It does.
It's not like she just encountered a bed of nails and threw someone onto it. She clearly planned for this.
You know what? I think you're right.
And
I
I
think
very
we
much
can
enjoy
get
that
this.
after throwing her through the bed of nails, I know it's from an MMA background, but she looked in the ring, which had glass and tacks and barbed wire in it, and was like, good time to take off my shoes.
I had a note about that. I said, feels like with everything going on the ring, probably not the smartest time to go barefoot and be the only one barefoot.
Yeah, you would think that they would have taken it. If I saw that someone had taken their shoes off, I would just do like foot focused attacks at this point. I'd be like, I don't know. That's just me. And our last person who we definitely have to talk about, timeless Tony Storm.
Whom we love and adore.
We should. Everyone should.
She came out in full Betty Davis, whatever happened to Baby Jane makeup. My God.
What
The
was
lipstick
that?
was all over her face, and she's pale, like ghostly white. Just loved it.
May I take 5 minutes to inform Ryan of the backstory of Timeless Tony Storm?
Please
Yeah.
take 10 minutes.
All right.
I need this.
So
Yeah.
Tony
Oh.
Storm.
Were you just going to like regale me?
Tony Storm had she was a rocker chick, kind of wore a backwards hat and threw up the devil horn thing, and she was like a rocker girl. Yeah, like that, just like that. So that was Tony Storm, and she won the women's title, the women's world title as rocker chick Tony Storm, and then lost the women's title. And as she lost the women's title, she very slowly but also very quickly went kind of insane and decided that first she just forgot who she was. Like, she would show up without wearing shoes or show up without wearing her clothes. She'd be wearing underwear on TV and be very confusing. Stay very confused. Biddy's favorite thing is she had spray paint that she was just spraying into the air and just watching the mist go around. She lost her mind for a little while. And then through that course of refinding who she was, she found out that she was actually like an old film star.
Like
From maybe the
Hollywood,
20s.
like golden
Yeah.
age.
Well,
Golden
and the
Age
thing
Hollywood
is,
film star.
she's been going from like the early 20s. Now she's like into like what, the 40s now. Like she's slowly
Yeah.
been going through.
She's
all
been going
the,
through,
the
like,
golden age,
Yeah.
the stages of old Hollywood.
The eras of old film. Mm-hmm.
And she became therefore Timeless Tony Storm and won back the women's title. It was a very good women's champion, very long reigning women's champion. I think I can say this, very gay women's champion.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I have
In a
question
good sense,
about
not in a
you.
bad sense. She had a love affair / feud with someone named Mariah May, who is no longer in the company, but they destroyed each other. And Mariah May had a previous love affair / feud with Mina Shirakawa, who then Tony Storm became involved with after they beat up Mariah May. And she left the company. So now Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa are a team / friendship / more than friendship. I believe she said that they're married when she actually is married to another wrestler on the show, a man, Juice Robinson, who is also insane. But anyway, she's married to Mina Shirakawa, but in the course of this, she lost her women's title again to Chris Statlander, and she's gone off the deep end a little bit more this time, and not into the not wearing clothes, not sure who she is, more of like a not sure what she's doing or why she's here anymore.
She's like, yeah, like she's got nothing left to lose, so she's just gone off her rocker.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's why you notice when she came into the ring, like because she's Timeless Tony Storm, it was all in black and white. I don't know if you caught that.
No, I was too busy being struck by the Joker face that she had.
Yeah, it's
I
kind
love
of
that.
harkens back to she did this another similar look previously with Mariah May. If you've ever seen Whatever Happened to Baby Jane with Betty Davis and the makeup smear and like the really white clown paint and it's kind of like a callback to that and those films of that era. And she was just absolutely nuts in that film, so it kind of makes sense. So she tortured the hell out of her sister in that movie. Like so that's where that kind of comes into play. But then she's always in black and white when she's not wrestling. It's kind of even a gimmick. Like on social media, they will put her in black and white in a photo.
And sometimes she'll do interviews and they'll split the screen in half and her half of the screen is black and white.
Black
and
and
the other
white.
person's half of the screen
It's
is
neat.
color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very
I like.
clever. But yeah,
fun. It's
If
so
possible,
fun.
I would like to read my 3 notes on Tony Storm
Please do.
yes.
verbatim, which I know is very exciting. People love to hear things that are written down. All right. Clown woman, brackets, Tony Storm, ? Gets to wear a fashionable yet functional outfit. That seems unfair to the others, except maybe Willow, who also has real pants. They are team real pants.
I do feel like you have a point because if you're, Sky Blue or Julia Hart or anyone who wasn't wearing pants, if you're going into this match, right, like we talked with Rita Shafir, if you're going into a match where there's going to be violence and weaponry, you should try to cover up. In theory, you should be wearing like a lot of clothes because you're going to get hurt. But it's wrestling, and if there's one thing that you need to know about wrestling is that the better something looks, the more effective it is. So like if you jump off the rope and hit someone with an elbow drop, that's effective. But if you flip a couple times on your way down, it's better. It just is. And I feel like they're expanding on that theory that if you're hitting someone with a chair, but you have a really great looking outfit on, it's more effective than if you're hitting someone with a chair and you're wearing like jeans and a t-shirt.
That said, the CEO is the one who should be wearing the suit. Those two need to trade outfits. I mean, CEO can do what she wants. Clearly, she's the CEO.
I actually think that would be a fun gimmick for her if she because could you imagine like the really cool suits like she would come in, like she would wear because it's Mercedes. I think she would be really great with a gimmick
that would work really well.
It would work really well with her because I think she could be so stylish with it. Like she would do something like ridiculously crazy and it would work.
Like really like tailored suits,
really tailored suits, wild patterns, wild colors.
It's not even a full rebrand.
Yeah, she could do that. I did think when the Young Bucks were doing their EVP thing, she should have joined them and been like, "You're EVPs, but I'm the CEO."
That's right.
I think that would have worked, and they didn't do that, but that would have been cool.
It was good to see those two young men again. I remember them from last time. They had gained a third member, but it turned out he was just a guy next to them who then said something at the end and walked away. I was really happy for them for a moment. Like, oh, you got someone new. Oh, no. He's gone.
There's a whole story there too.
I figured. My last Tony Storm note was, why shove someone's head into a string of pearls?
Why not?
Shoving full oysters into someone would hurt more and save on string.
I loved the pearls because
have that one for free.
I loved the pearls because you knew that in a match where women were going to be bleeding and hurting each other and fighting like this, that there would be a lot of like clutching of pearls.
It's kind of like a metaphor
on the internet.
Pearl clutching.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, there was someone on the internet that got pissy because someone was bleeding, and
just one person. One person on the internet got pissy.
Okay, I remember.
No. I know. Biddy's talking about there was a wrestler from another company that's I think retired.
Yeah,
from TNA or something, and she was like really adamant about.
She basically was like, "Think of the children."
Yeah.
Were like,
is she currently paid by WWE?
They were like, "Don't let your kids watch it and be a freaking parent." Then
don't let your kids watch it. I never see. Yeah. Sidebar. I never understood why like Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, like why WWE is a child-friendly company that airs a program from 9 to 11 o'clock on Mondays. Because that is not a child watching time period to watch a program. That is school night.
I remember Attitude Era WWE. None of that should have been shown to a child.
But like that, since then they've become like the child-friendly. Why are they still showing their show Monday at 9 o'clock? Kids aren't watching that.
Attitude Era Wrestling?
What?
AEW. Is that Attitude Era
Wrestling? No,
Elite.
All Elite Wrestling.
All Elite Wrestling.
No. But
typical elites.
But anyway, so yeah, that was like a kind of a tongue-in-cheek reference to
clutching your pearls.
I think they've been called Karen wrestling fans or something.
Mm-hmm.
The title of the match, Blood and Guts, has a fun backstory as well. Speaking of clutching pearls, there's a match called War Games that was in a company called the NWA and WCW, which is the same match. Bunch of people in a cage, same match. That's what Blood and Guts is based on. WWE owns the rights to that match and now has started doing that match and calls it War Games, and it's worse, and they do a bad job of it. But anyway, the reason this match is called Blood and Guts is because several years ago there was a media call when AEW had first started up with Vince McMahon. But they talked, the person hosting the media call said to him, "Oh, what do you think of this new company starting up, this new wrestling company, AEW starting up?" And he goes, "Oh, we're a very different company. You know, we're a family-friendly company, and they do a lot of violent stuff. We're never going to have that sort of blood and guts on our program." And then they were like, "You know what? We're calling our match Blood and Guts."
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that came from.
Hell yeah.
Ryan looked disgusted for a second there. I'd like to know why.
Oh, it was the thought that any wrestling would be family friendly.
Yeah.
Fair.
Which begs the question, what was I doing at 4 when I
Right.
saw Hulk Hogan?
It's a very weird concept for children. I know that it is marketed toward children, but it's also people beating each other up.
Mhm.
In fairness to my mother, she was not aware that this was happening. It was my babysitter's husband who was showing it to me.
Mm. My grandmother showed me wrestling. That's how I
Of
got into
course
it.
she did. This tracks so much for you.
And now Jay has something to say.
I would like to,
Go
yeah,
ahead, Jay.
I would like to add about Tony. My favorite thing is because she's like old timey. I love when she stands in the fisticuffs pose, like the old.
Yeah.
And
She's like,
and she
For a
just
while,
yells at them, and I love it. Anytime she squares up, she's just like old school fisticuffs.
For a while, I really liked that she was wearing like the old fashioned strongman, like the one,
Yes, the one thing.
yeah, like what's it called? The one sash, the one like arms sash. What are they talking
Yes.
about? The strap, the one strap across her chest, and like the short, like the kind of old timey strongman that you'd see holding like a barbell.
Leotard, like a leotard.
Yeah, she's wearing that for a while. That I enjoyed. Before we get to the finish of the match, does anyone have anything else to say about the match?
Oh, I also would like to add in as far as like the puppets with Puppet Monet. How do we get Miss Piggy involved in this next time?
I bet Harley does the best Miss Piggy impersonation.
Oh, I bet she does.
I bet I would pay money to see it actually. But
Anything else before we get to the finish of the match and what happened?
That's it.
What did we
Okay.
think of the finish of the match then? Not Mariah May, sorry. Mina Shirakawa being beaten up by who was it primarily? Marina Shafir primarily.
Yeah.
Had her like in an arm lock, and then everyone else was just like going to town.
well, and
they
they
had
held
all the
Tony
talent.
back.
They had
Like
a whole
total, what was that? Goodfellas?
big
Or,
fella.
yeah. Like the movie, like they're all movie sickos. You can tell because,
Mhm.
like I just, as a nerd in many fields, like the people in AEW are also fellow nerds in many fields, and they put it in there.
As
And I
someone who
loved
has never
it.
seen a movie, I did not get any of this, but I appreciate that you like it.
well,
Well, you know what? No comment.
I was gonna say, should we get into my cousin Vinny?
I was gonna say, I mean, well, you know who was in Goodfellas, right?
But anyway, it was awesome. It was great. The
I
story-
enjoyed that Tony gave up because she'd rather quit than see. Because
Yeah.
basically she has, as Jay alluded to, she feels like she has nothing left now that she lost her title, but what she has is
Mina.
Mina Shirakawa.
Mm-hmm.
So she wasn't willing to also lose Mina.
So my takeaway from this entire match was women be gay, do crimes.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Mine was everyone here needs a tetanus shot.
That's
But
a great
also
take.
The women's match was very entertaining. I had a good time with it. My wife had a good time with it. It was fun.
But honestly, that's so awesome. You guys don't watch wrestling, and that you had fun. Like, there you go. Like, that's the magic of AEW and the women. Also, I have to make a note. Ryan's wife was extremely entertaining on Blue Sky watching this, and you should have had some of her comments added in there too.
I liked
Ryan,
her
'cause-
comment of Willow Nightingale step on me.
Yeah. Like it just, but that
She was
Yeah.
not saying this out loud, by the way. This was
Oh,
her
yeah.
own running commentary going.
it was amazing, and I love her even more. But
Yeah,
yeah,
she's
like that. So the
She'll
women
never
should have
hear
been the
this.
main. The women should have been the main event.
The women should have been the main event, yes, for sure.
Like the women are where it at. Like my partner, who does not really care about wrestling, he loved it. He's like, oh my god, all these hot women are beating the shit out of each other. This is awesome. And he loves Tony Storm. He actually looked at me during it and was like, all right, I know my hall pass. It's Tony Storm. And I was like, fair, it might be mine too. So Like they knocked it out of the park. They're incredible.
Yeah,
And
'cause
yeah.
after their match, it was like, oh, okay, the guys are on, whatever. It just felt like
Yeah.
so, you know, you go from all that, and then here's Don Callis and all them just roughing up, you know,
Yeah.
it just was like, what is this? What is the point of this after that?
So we're
Right.
gonna speed through a little bit of this because it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, look at the time. Well, the men did something. Thanks.
Does
you
anyone
guys.
have anything to say about Don
Much as I would
Callis and
summarize
the
rest
Young
of the
Bucks?
show anyway.
Anyone have anything to say about Don Callis and the Young Bucks?
No, I don't even think I watched
Another
Alright.
fellow bald? No.
that. I think
Continue.
I went to pee.
Hangman Adam Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs Falls Count Anywhere match. What did you think of the concept of a Falls Count Anywhere match, Ryan?
I don't understand the concept of that.
That means you can pin someone anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the
It's
ring.
just, yeah, it can be outside the
Okay.
ring. Yeah.
That does lead me to my question of the match, which is, did they like let the people who were going to be in those seats know in advance? And where did they move them to?
Probably not very far in advance. Probably just like a very short time in advance. I could see them telling people like 5 minutes before, like, "Hey, move out of the way," and then something's gonna happen. And then like when we went to the show, they were brawling not right in front of us, but like very close to us. Like we were a bit higher up, and they had us further. The brawl was further down. They didn't tell those people. Like Darby Allin, who we saw later in the show, jumped off of an entranceway onto a bunch of people, and I don't think they told anyone that this was going to happen.
No, but we predicted that's
We
where
predicted
he
it.
was
Well,
jumping
yeah, it's
from.
Darby
Right.
Allin.
But
I mean, I've been to indie shows where like you're hanging around the ring and you're in pretty close proximity, and there's no, like at AEW they have like the gates up and everything and the barricades, and but at like indie shows you don't. So you're standing there, and then like staff comes over and they start shooing you out of the way because somebody's gonna come flying, or like a trash can almost hit me once. Like I've almost died like multiple times in Enjoy Wrestling. And they just kind of like shoot you like back up. And so I assume it's probably a similar, like
I
very
mean,
short notice.
you could see when they were up high in the seats that security was pushing, like they pushed people out of their seats
Mhm.
so that they could walk by. So that did happen. And of course, when Hobbs fell on the table with the sound equipment, it exploded into fireworks, which is what happens when you knock over sound equipment.
I have walked into those equipment boxes as well that later fell on people, and it hurts.
No, yeah.
There's a running joke in wrestling for a really long time about the Spanish announce table always being sacrificed. Like anytime they throw somebody into a table, it's always the Spanish announce table.
Or sometimes it's the sound table, but the sound table always has to have explosions
Mhm.
go off when you hit the sound table, because you can't just hit equipment. It has to burst into flames or spark up or shoot up. So yeah, but Hobbs falling from however far he fell onto whatever he fell on, that looked like it hurt.
It did look like it hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Those boxes in particular, those have sharp edges, sharp metal edges, and they looked like they were real equipment boxes.
They probably were.
Probably
Yeah.
empty and
There's
just like
There's
foam inside.
sickos enough.
Yeah.
Well, Hobbs was also shot when he was like 15 years old too. So
I'm sorry, what?
yeah,
Not in wrestling. Outside.
no,
of
no,
wrestling.
no. For real life, I think he was shot when he was a kid because he was in not a good part of wherever he's from. So he's probably like, yeah,
Violence gang?
But I think you're right that that is real equipment. They probably, whatever boxes are probably not filled with sound equipment, mostly because they don't want to destroy sound equipment, I'm assuming.
Right.
Mostly because the sound equipment is actually out and being used.
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
That's it.
But it is real stuff that they're falling on most of the time. So yeah. Anyone else have other thoughts on Hobbs and Hangman? I liked it. I thought it was good. It was what they should have done in between these two matches, because you needed a match
Right.
that was not the exact same as the other matches. So I
Mhm.
kind of like that they had a match that went around the state,
It
the
fit.
arena.
Mhm.
Well, and of course both of them are amazing, and they they hit it out of the park for what they needed to do.
And then following that match, Samoa Joe and Shibata come out and attack.
Yeah.
And then the cage starts coming down.
Okay. This led to two separate matches being challenged, right? But both of those both of those matches were being advertised out loud in the arena beforehand.
Yes, that's the weird.
Mhm.
I actually mentioned this in the podcast last week. The weirdest thing that AEW does is wrestler A comes up and goes, "Well, fine, I challenge you to a match at the pay-per-view," and then as they say it, a graphic pops up on the screen that has that match.
That's the
I'm
last
like,
time I watched. This was worse. This was, oh yeah, I know he's got this thing with Samoa Joe coming up, and then there was the challenge.
well, he had already agreed to the match with Samoa
Okay.
Joe.
Mhm.
They changed it into a cage match.
Yeah, it's always, you'll always hear, like Rick said, when the graphic comes up, it'll always be like JR will be like, "Well, you heard it. Tony Khan just confirmed it." Like
And they have the fastest graphics team in the world who can immediately
time.
produce the
every
graphics.
time, yeah.
Yeah. The thing I thought was odd about this was the cage came down and they did the challenge, and I thought that, oh, this is their way of bringing the cage down for the next cage match, the next Blood and Guts match. Rather than waiting 5 minutes to lower the cage, they're going to do it as a part of a segment. But then they came back and the cage was back up again, and Ricky Steamboat was in the ring.
Oh my god.
Now, this segment was way too long. Much, much too long. I did not appreciate it. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Well, okay. This is the one part
Before you say anything, I love Ricky Steamboat. He seems like a great person. He's a great wrestler. I have no qualms with Ricky Steamboat as a person. I'm very glad that Ric Flair was not there, because Ric Flair is the opposite of a good person. He was not there. So continue.
Isn't Ric
Ricky
Flair's
Steamboat.
whole thing North Carolina?
Yeah, he was supposed to be there, but he came out before the show and did a thing. And the story they're going with is he has a shoulder injury and was in too much pain to stay at the venue, and then left before the show started. Now, if you know anything about Ric Flair, which I don't think you do, Ric Flair is known for several things. One, being a very good wrestler. He was a very good wrestler. He's also a pretty awful person in general. There's a lot of stories that come out about Ric Flair and unwanted advances, shall we say, onto women. There's also a lot of stories that come out about Ric Flair and a lot of intoxication. So
Mhm.
I feel like there's a chance that Ric Flair was not shown on television for more than just a shoulder injury.
He probably would have put a better performance up, though.
He probably depends on which Ric Flair you're getting.
He's
There was
like
a clip.
5,000 years old.
He's
Yeah.
very old and drinks quite
He
a
needs
lot.
to stop and just go away.
He
There's
should
a-
not. Yeah.
There's a clip floating around of him. I guess they paraded him out before the show started, and there was like some woos, but there was not a lot of reaction from the audience. Like they didn't really want him there.
I think a lot of the reaction from the audience and from us is that AEW is supposed to be a different company from WWE, and AEW is supposed to not be fine with people like Ric Flair representing their company.
Exactly. It
And-
was more of like a why is he here? Like he did not get any kind of a cheer. Like he got some cheers and people were doing the woo thing, but it was not like a giant pop of excitement. Like
You are correct that he is a very Carolina person, and if they're going to bring him out on the show, Carolina show makes sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was not there. Ricky Steamboat was, and the generous interpretation I've heard of this segment was that it was supposed to be more Ric Flair centric than it was, and Ric Flair was not there, and Ricky Steamboat was kind of just ad-libbing his way through it. That's the generous interpretation I've heard of this.
Well, and I said this in the chat the other day. I feel like FTR tries way too hard when they are heels. And it feels forced, and I don't like it, and I'm bored.
I think Dax likes to talk a lot, and he's not particularly good at it. Like he's fine.
It's
Like he's
like
fine.
like when they're baby faces, it's easier, and it, he doesn't have to talk as much. It just, like, Cash is a good heel, and Dax, I don't know. It's
Dax
just-
has kind of the jerk thing going for him. Like he's done a couple things where like he'll be doing an interview and he'll ask someone a question, and before they get to answer the question, he pulls the mic back and then start. Like that's kind of funny and heelish. Like I
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Mhm.
But then he'll do it like 4 times over the course of a segment. And I'm like, you just do it once. You don't.
That's what I mean. He tries too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have Stokely, who should just be talking for them.
Right. Stokely is a gem and a precious little boy, and yeah, they should just let him do stuff. Like
Now, well, we were talking about this segment earlier on, myself and Ryan. I pointed out to him that Ricky Steamboat's actual name is Richard Blood, which is a much better wrestling name, in my opinion.
I think we killed Biddy.
Oh, why? What happened?
Didn't you just like ow?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I heard a anguish scream, and then you went silent.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I've got it. I just picked up a new kitten, everyone, and I'm playing with her. She's 4 months old, and so maybe that was it.
So
She's done.
So a man decides to become a wrestler. His legal name is Richard Blood, and decides that I'm going to change my name to Steamboat.
Yeah.
Your name is
Right.
Dick Blood. You could be Dick Blood.
Mickey Mouse, bitch.
But if you're going to be a wrestler, Blood is a good last name.
Yeah. Okay. As soon as we made that connection, the first thing I did was send Rick a GIF, soft G,
No,
of Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
But your name is Blood.
Dick Blood.
Dick Blood. Dick Blood Senior. Now let's
yes.
put some respect on the man's name, because
So-
I'm giving him no respect for his performance.
So rather than turn this into an FTR segment, is there anything to say about this?
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
I started
Filler.
skipping over it when I realized he had Trump hair.
So, Men's Blood and Guts. We've ragged on it a lot, and I understand why. I thought it was quite good. It was not the women's match. The women's match was better. I enjoyed the women's match more. But I going into this match, you don't know this, Ryan, but Biddy and Jay do. This feud with Moxley's group, the Death Riders, and Darby and Orange Cassidy and a bunch of other people has been going on for a very, 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 very long time. And when they announced this match, at least my first thought was, I thought we were done. Did
Yeah.
anyone else feel that way?
I've felt that way for a while. Anytime Darby and any of these people do a thing, I'm like, come on now. It's
Because we had Hangman beat Mox, which was very good.
Mhm.
Then we had Darby versus Mox, and Mox won, which was, I get it. They want to keep it going. But then we had Darby versus Mox again, and Darby won, clearly won, made Mox submit. And then they're still going. And I thought, like, why are we doing this at this point? But I will say, we can talk about the rest of the match first. I will say they redeemed the storyline by the end of the match, to me. I liked it.
Okay.
I can see you all liked it as well.
I'll be honest with you guys. I fell asleep through this match. I was so tired. I didn't make it through the end of Blood and Guts.
The problem I have, and I think all of you will have, is this match was very long.
Incredibly.
Sorry, I went to pee. But
Better use of your time than the boys match.
See, I thought it was fine. I thought it was. If
No,
they hadn't had the women's match on the card, it was fine.
listen, did you guys see that still shot of Darby in the fire of the table?
Yeah, that was nuts.
That
was the best part.
ridiculous.
He
Yeah.
legitimately set himself on fire.
Yeah, he was.
And
he
there
was-
really did.
Oh, okay. That's a bit.
And I thought I was like, oh wow, we were told stop, drop, and roll for so long, and nobody has to use it. But guess what? Darby did.
I did
He
enjoy the
deserves that because he looks like a bridge troll.
See, this
I
is
feel like bridge trolls should be put on fire.
this Darby Allin is where I feel like I get that you shouldn't be clutching pearls and being like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. But I think Darby's going to kill himself in the ring. I really
Oh
do.
yeah, I think
I
that's
think
his
he's
goal.
definitely going to kill himself
Mhm.
with the things that I think he is going to paralyze himself or kill himself, or it's going to be very bad at some point.
I don't understand. Like he's made of rubber, though, man. He does all this crazy stuff, and he comes back the next week fine. Like
This wasn't even him falling from that height onto a table on fire and then setting himself on fire was not even the worst thing he's done. Like,
oh,
not even
absolutely
close.
not.
No.
Like he is a nut job.
I
But
did enjoy the Claudio spin. That's just like his classic gimmick.
That was fun. Yeah.
I just love when he does that.
The match was long, but there were fun parts to the match. I liked fun parts of it. I
any
enjoyed that.
promotion he's ever done that in is great. It's like, yay, he did the thing. I don't know. It's just my thing.
I have a
honestly,
dirty question.
oh, go for it. Sorry.
If Darby Allin, gets like a herniated disc in his back or one gets dislodged, does he need to adjust his tattoo?
Because of the spine thing? Probably.
Is it an exact replica of his spine? And does he need to get it adjusted?
I'm shocked that he has not broken his spine already. We will later send you some of the things Darby Allin has done.
That's
Did
okay.
And he should have broken his spine.
Did he go climb Mount Everest yet?
Yeah,
He did. Okay, I don't pay attention.
Yeah, he did. He did a promo for AEW and had a flag at the top of Mount Everest.
I don't pay attention to Darby.
That's really impressive.
Now,
He could be the first person on Mount Everest to dick punch someone.
He might have.
a few of the things I wanted to say. You pointed this out, Ryan, earlier today. Roderick Strong's Paragon outfit.
Oh, his juicy ass briefs.
Yes. I told you there was a backstory, and I will tell you the backstory now. Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly were in a group with a guy named Adam Cole, who is legitimately injured and may never wrestle again. And that's
was that Adam Cole or Adam Page who I saw last year?
There's two Adams. Might have been either one. It was probably Adam Page because Adam Cole has been injured a lot.
It may have been Adam Cole. So you know what? We could go back and check.
How orange was he? How orange was this Adam?
I don't know.
Because Adam Cole,
he was injured. That was the whole thing.
Really?
Oh yeah, then that was him. If he was injured,
probably him, like really orange spray tan.
Oh, it was his ankle.
Yeah. But anyway, he has a very serious injury. Like I think it's a concussion or something that he might not wrestle anymore. Anyway, the three of them were in a group called Paragon. And Adam Cole legitimately is injured and no longer able to be on the shows. So Kyle O'Reilly, who is friends with Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe on the show, joined their group called The Conglomeration. And he was trying to get his friend Roderick Strong to like them, being like, oh no, this is cool. You should join this group. These guys are all fun guys. Willow was also in this group, Willow Nightingale, by the way. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to get him to join. And Roderick Strong has been hesitant, and he's still like clinging to, no, I'm in Paragon, even though Paragon is essentially just him at this point.
Yeah, he's kind of a wet blanket.
Yeah.
He has juicy couture ass.
He's got a nice ass. I was just going to make a side note and say, you know what? Between the girls and the boys, man, that was a lot of juicy ass in this show.
There was a lot of juicy ass.
And well, people who looked surprisingly good, and I know I don't like his new look, and neither does Jay. Pac looked ripped as hell.
Pac looked ridiculous. I'm like, now you're putting on a little bit of clothes?
Pac, the last guy to come in, kind of scraggly, like a beard, kind of short, scraggly hair. Doesn't like to wear clothes.
He's usually naked.
Yeah,
he's usually very naked.
He usually
he's not wet anymore. He's dry now.
I don't like that he's dry.
No, he cut his hair now.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it.
And he's dry.
Was he who?
The mercenary at the end?
No, that was a different guy.
Okay.
Pac he has abs that have abs.
Mm-hmm.
They all have abs.
He has abs.
No. He's
no. Pac has abs.
He's like sculpted.
Yeah.
But he's also not very tall.
He's very short.
He definitely seems like a guy who went, well, I can't get taller, so I'm going to get wider.
Okay. So you guys are all Simpsons freaks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I know this. I am aware of this because I am also one. But none of you watch the newer ones.
Why
so
would we?
You don't know that that's basically what future Millhouse looks like.
That makes sense.
That checks out, actually.
That does make sense.
And not gain height. So he grows a dirty mustache and just becomes twice as wide as he is tall.
That checks out because in outside of the ring, Pac has glasses and he's very nerdy looking.
He's a very little nerd, yeah.
It really checks out.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my god.
Now, what did we think of? I thought this was kind of weird. What did we think of Mark Briscoe is injured. He can't be in the match. And then 5 minutes later, like, no, there he is.
Yeah, we knew that was happening.
Mhm.
Again,
We knew that-
sometimes it's predictable.
I think
call
what
it
they
Mark Brisket.
I think what they if they were going to do that, they should have had him like be like the second guy who's supposed to come, and like he was supposed to be so injured that he couldn't compete, and then like 5 minutes later was perfectly fine, and I felt that was a little weird.
Mhm.
It was.
But I will
feel
say,
like-
I will say there was two things that I really enjoyed. One, I saw someone point out on Reddit today, which I didn't realize myself, but it seems very clever. And that John Moxley's whole thing recently is that he's like, for a year, he had the AEW title and was like the hardest guy in the room and was tough and a badass and tried to murder people, literally tried to murder people by like putting plastic bags over their heads and trying to kill them. Then lost the title, lost to Hangman Page, and then quit submitted to Darby Allin. So his thing right now is he's kind of no longer the hardest guy in the room, right? He's quit,
He's
several
slowing
times.
down.
right? I liked that they made a point to mention, oh, he wasn't the last guy coming into the match, and they thought he was going to be the last guy coming into the match. I like that he, once he realized the Briscoe thing at the time, at least, had worked, and Briscoe was no longer in the match, Mox felt like, oh, I can join now. Now we're going to have the upper hand. I can come in and I can take advantage of this situation. And I enjoyed that because that really, I like Mox's character and what they're doing with Mox's character.
Well, no, it's fascinating because he's been the big scary man and blah blah blah, and now he's on a losing streak. I mean,
Which
like-
brings me to the end of the match, and the reason why I liked the match was because the point of, I was like, why did they do this match? Why did we have another match between these teams? Because we've had them face each other so many times already. Why are we doing this? Why they were doing this was because Mox lost to Hangman, who's a big name. Mox lost to Darby, who's a pretty big name. Mox had to lose to some of the other guys that he was messing with.
yeah,
He'd been messing with Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly. And the fact that Kyle was the one who made him tap, I think, made the match worthwhile.
but Kyle was absolutely the MVP of that match. By the way, like that guy almost had to quit because he had a neck or spine injury. They told him he'd never wrestle again, and now he's back and he's freaking killing it.
Yeah.
And he was the MVP of the men's match by far.
I agree. And I like the story that they did there.
Kyle is dead. Rip
Yeah.
Kyle.
What?
My one note on Kyle apparently is Kyle is dead. Rip Kyle. We hardly knew you because he came in and got knocked real fast.
Right.
I saw something. It was like a post on Blue Sky. It was somebody was like, "Why would you staple Orange Cassidy's hands in his pockets? Like, because that's his thing."
Mhm.
I can't remember.
What
exactly
did you think of
what
the staple in the pocket thing? What did you think of that?
Can you explain what an Orange Cassidy is to me?
Orange
It's like I
Cassidy.
did this last year too. I still
Orange-
don't understand the man.
Orange Cassidy is a slacker who doesn't care or doesn't try, but then sometimes tries.
And then when he tries, he's like, awesome.
Then he's awesome
Mhm.
Why does he look like Ryan Gosling?
because
He's
he's a cool guy.
He's cool. That's why he has his hands in his pockets because he's
That's right.
He's a
cool.
Ryan Gos-like.
He's cool and doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He's-
So I enjoyed the match. I thought it was not, the women's match was better, but I liked the story at the ending of both matches. I liked the story, the ending of the women's match of Mina and Tony. That was great. I liked the story at the end of this match. Mox thought he had the upper hand. Mox thought he'd outsmarted everybody. Oh, he took out Mark Briscoe, and Roderick Strong doesn't really get along with these guys. I have Gabe Kidd. I'm gonna set Darby on fire and take him out of the match. I'm gonna outsmart everybody, and I'm gonna get back my badass title. And then he ended up quitting to Kyle O'Reilly, of all people, who you did not expect would be the one to make Mox tap. And
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Expect that.
And I enjoyed that. I very much do. I very much want to see where Mox goes next. What happens with him next? Because if he's no longer the hardest guy in the room, and he's quit now 3 main events in a row, what does he do? Does his group abandon him? Do Does he leave to go find himself? I want to see what happens there. I'm interested in this.
Bring back
Right.
Rich, the ficus.
Please do not do that. It's a terrible, terrible idea.
This match I felt was significantly worse. And for me, it wasn't even just the length. It was the choreography felt really off. Wrestling, from what I understand, everybody watching knows it's fake, but the fun is in the storylines, but also in the illusion that the violence is as real as possible.
Yes.
We all know they're pulling punches and not fully hitting. And this was an issue that I had with
Richard Blood.
Dick Blood, where it was very clear that he was not hitting or being hit. The women's felt so much more real, while the men's, I could see them constantly not hitting, and there was no sound effects to help sell it. And maybe it was just the camera angles, maybe something else, but the illusion kept getting shattered for me. And that was really disappointing, because for me, that's pretty much all the match had going for it, because a bunch of guys who are bald with black pants is really boring.
I do think you're right. And I think
the women all have this intricate hair work and are pulling each other's hair. And it's like, this is
That's another thing. Like,
a group of bikers who are just afraid of getting their hair
I
pulled.
think part of the reason the women's match looked, I think they were hitting each other.
and here's the thing too, the women, yeah, maybe they sell it a little better, but I feel like it kind of goes along with, like, when you think about like how men fight versus women fight in a real fight scenario, it's very catty, kind of like how, like Ryan says, with the hair pulling and the grabbing and the, like it's very catty. And I think the women in AEW tried to replicate that when they fight. And whereas like the men, it's just a bunch of bald dudes that are just punching each other.
And Mercedes is one of the best at selling.
She really
Oh,
is.
She's
yeah.
very good at it.
She goes flying like a rag doll.
She looks like she's been killed by every punch. Like she's very good at it. I do think there's a very good chance that they'd never done a women's blood and guts match before, and a lot of the women involved in this match hadn't had a chance to do a match like this before. Not this particular match, but even a hardcore match like Willow had before, Tony had before. But a lot of them, this was their first chance to do this on a big stage.
Yep.
And I do think that there are matches where they go out and they're like, we're actually going to hurt each other, and we're going to do it like safely. We're not going to like try to maim each other, but like we're going to punch each other a bit harder than we normally would in a worked match, because that makes it look better. And the point of this match was to make it look good. And I have no knowledge on this, but I could see, Mercedes or Tony Storm or Stat being like, let's just actually punch each other and it will look better and it will make the match better.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever watched like New Japan matches, like they hit each other. They're like, it's fake in the sense that they're not hitting each other full, but they're hitting each other. They're not like stopping. So I could definitely see that they were like, this is our shot. This is our chance to do something really cool. And we're going to go, no pun intended, all out on this. Whereas the men had done this a bunch. Like I think the last Blood and Guts match was,
We're like Darby all out.
the last Blood and Guts match was Mox's crew, right? They talked about it on the show, and I feel like they don't need to prove themselves. Like Mox is Mox. Like they're not trying to prove themselves really. Kyle O'Reilly might be trying to prove himself because he's getting a push now, but the rest of them are just like, this is work. I mean, it's not that they're not trying, but there's that extra motivation for the women to do a better job.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, and they crushed it.
They did.
I mean, again, like two people who don't watch wrestling at all were like, "Holy crap, that was amazing!"
It was. The ladies did a fantastic job, and then you get to the men's, and it is so much less. And we've gone over the bald parade already, but the bald guys are boring. They have a boring aesthetic. And then one of the things they had them do is, okay, we're bringing out the toolkit. Now we're going to start. One guy said, oh, he's literally taking his pound of flesh. And there was something about those tools that wasn't working. Like the
Yeah, I
scraper
can see
was
that. Yeah.
because the announcers, both of them are taking their pound of flesh, and you're looking, and there's not even a scrape mark.
They're like, look at his back, and there was like.
I also think that, again, making this up, I think that there may have been an effort to be like the first match was really bloody. We're going to try not to also be really bloody, just for differentiation purposes. That I could see them being like, well, that match was filled with blood. If we also have a match filled with blood,
Well,
it's gonna be
But
less interesting.
Guts, it
to
should
be
all
fair,
bloody.
Kyle was covered in
Kyle-
blood. Yes.
Kyle O'Reilly didn't get the memo.
Now, here's my question for all of you. If this was flipped, if the men's match was first and then the Hangman Page match and then the women's match, would you have a better opinion of the show and the men's match?
Yes. Women should have
I
main
agree.
evented.
I think
100%.
if they flipped it, the men's match would be looked on more fondly because you'd be like, that match was really good. Now what's going to come up? And it would get even better.
Yep.
Whereas the way they did it, you're like, oh, that was incredible. And then it's
Not
like-
if it went as long on the men's side.
it was too long. Yes, it was like an hour. It was too long.
It was far too long. The men's did have possibly the most horrifying line of dialogue I have ever heard, and I never ever want to hear it again. Which is, he has DNA all over his face.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Who said that? Was that Danielson?
I don't know who it was. Some
Yeah.
dude just like,
Sounds like something Danielson would say, but I don't know who it
Yeah.
was.
Mhm.
I gagged. I nearly spat out my coffee.
I think if they had done the men's
I
match,
finished the coffee an hour earlier.
I think if they had done the men's match and cut off like 15 minutes of it, 20 minutes of it, and done that match first, and then the Hangman Page match, and then the women's match, I think that would have been perfect.
Yeah. Agreed.
I understand
think-
why they didn't, because not sexism aside, the men's match had a happy ending. It had Kyle beating Mox, and you kind of want to close your show on a happy ending
They all should have
Versus-
kissed and made up at the end.
versus Tony screaming as her girlfriend is attacked.
No, I think
They
they
should
should have
not
ended
have
it
kissed
on
and made up
that.
at the end. Just the men.
And the
Yeah.
only other thing I wanted to point out, and then I know I said I wouldn't talk too much, but it's my thing. I really enjoyed talking about when we're talking about the Death Riders and what's Mox going to do next. Mox lost the match for his team. The only other Death Rider who was not in that match was Marina, who won
Yeah.
the match for her team.
Yeah.
So
Well,
is this now? She's the hardest in the room.
Oh, absolutely. I think they're
yeah.
kind of setting it up where maybe she's the leader of the Death
Yeah.
Riders.
They all lost except for her.
Yep.
Yeah.
She won.
And
Is
she
she also a Death
she
Rider?
Yeah, Marina Shafir is a Death Rider.
Okay. She has hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
she's also in
Excuse me,
real
Wheeler
life-
Yuta is a Death Rider, and he is all hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in real life, Marina is married to Roderick Strong.
Yes.
Roderick Booty
Paragon.
Strong. Yeah.
And she had spent a while doing nothing she'd been in the company for a while. She wasn't doing much for a while. And then she was kind of like Mox's muscle. Like Mox would come out and
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
wrestle, and she would be on the outside. If his opponent rolled on the outside, she would like take him out. And that's all she did. She didn't really wrestle for a long time. She was kind of just his like tough guy on the outside. And I really like the idea of, maybe she's the tougher one. Maybe she's they could even see them going, maybe she's the reason he had that long title reign. Like he's not
Right.
that tough.
Yeah.
Maybe she did it. Maybe she was helping him. That would be really cool. I would like that for sure.
Well, then I've seen that on Reddit after, like, people being like, "Oh, who's going to lead the Death Riders if they kick Mox out?" And people are saying
The next logical story is the implosion of the Death Riders.
right, exactly.
And that'll be fun. I want to see that. I think
Yeah.
if they do it correctly, they've already pretty much redeemed this Death Rider story. The first half of it was very bad. I think they've done, since the stuff with Hangman Page, I think they've really redeemed the Death Rider story. And I think
Agreed.
if they stick the fallout and they build some people along the way, I think that'll make it all worth it.
Oh yeah, Marina has shot up big time. Like, well, that's Oh man, yeah. Well, and I remember couple years. It might have still been during the pandemic or late pandemic, but Renee was doing her podcast and of course had Mox on, and Mox talked Marina up so much. He
Yeah.
was like, I want to work with her so bad and blah blah blah. And now they are, and they're doing yeah.
I will give Mox this. He had 6 months to a year of being just, I don't want to see him win anymore. Like he had that for like a long time. But since then, he's done a very good job of elevating other people. He's now elevated Hangman, who didn't need that much elevating, but he did elevate Hangman. He's elevated, Orange Cassidy. He's elevated Marina Shafir. He's elevated
Darby,
Kyle O'Reilly.
Right.
The guys in his, Daniel Garcia, who was floating around doing nothing. Like he has elevated these people. And I think that's worked out very well. Now he should take a break.
Yeah, he's legit ace. And
all right. Does anyone else have anything to say about this show before we end this?
I have a couple questions.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. First one is just a question for me, because I was in the film industry for a long time, so I'm really hyper aware of this. When they had the fight on top of the cage, which neat, did anyone notice that the center on camera looked so much worse than all the other cameras?
Yes, I did notice that.
What is up with that? Is that just a thing that just happened this time?
I feel like it just happened this time. Like I think they had a different type of camera for that spot.
Yeah,
or something.
it felt like a different type of camera. It felt like a digital zoom because everything was blown up and pixelated.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? I bet it was like one of the arena, set in the arena cameras, and they're like, oh shit, we gotta get something on that. And it was just like your basic, like,
it was probably not like a real TV camera. Yeah, it was probably just something.
Yeah, it was just like whatever sports they do in there. It's like, oh shit, use that. That's what it was.
Okay, because it felt significantly lower quality.
Yeah, it was just the generic arena camera.
Okay, I actually did want to know about the Death Rider. So now that I have learned that it is a matriarch and a bunch of bald men,
yes.
I am kind of curious. All the bald men
and Wheeler Yuta,
like marbles when the Death Riders evaporate later. Where do they all go?
I do want to know where they all go.
Yeah,
that's question.
I thought it was really funny that Adam Page is wearing this bandage garter, and the sponsor for that match was an insurance company. That felt really good to me. That was a good synergy of the brands right there.
There was a good synergy many, many years ago where they had a match, Nick Gage versus Chris Jericho, and Nick Gage is like a death match wrestler who's not actually in AEW, but it was like pandemic time, so they had a lot of other people coming in. And there was a spot where he used a pizza cutter and he sliced up Jericho's head with the pizza cutter. And then right after that spot, they cut to an ad for Domino's.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed. Apparently Domino's did not like that.
That's
somebody at Domino's who was mad about that does not understand what a gift they were
right.
Bitch, that's marketing.
It's no publicity is bad publicity right there.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Now, I know we are in this era of everything is gambling, but can you bet on wrestling?
Apparently you can.
I think so.
Some parts, yeah.
There's a draft. They have a DraftKings thing going on with them.
Okay, that's weird.
But I don't think you can bet on who wins the matches. I think you can just bet on what's going to happen. As far as
you can bet on which I should actually do that because I'm good at that.
I think you can bet on how many will they use a steel chair? Like I think you can bet on stuff like that.
That kind of stuff.
Does anyone have anything else to say about Blood and Guts?
Do dicks and boobs ever pop out?
Not often.
No.
Very rarely, actually.
Some might at one point. I cannot remember which wrestler in the first match it was, and I'm not going to call them out on it anyway, because that would be weird. But it did feel like for a moment, there's enough force going on that any tape that you put on for costuming might not last an entire match.
It's impressive.
And costuming, particularly on the women, is so intricate.
I think they're very bound in there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To be fair, as someone who has worn a dress that required a lot of tape to keep everything inside, that was not going anywhere. I could have went through a hurricane and it was not going anywhere. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what happens when you tape your boobs up.
yeah, I
Yeah.
had to tape. I don't even got boobs and I had to tape them up. But at the same time, they were moving. So yeah, I think bodily tape is very advanced right now.
And a lot of the women in particular wear like they have tights underneath their little shorts. They're not actually bare legged.
I don't think we're talking about butts, Rick.
We're
talking about titties.
No, but like that also is a spot where things could slip.
What's gonna slip into the butt crack? Who cares?
No, if you're
It's a butt cheek.
wearing very small tights, they could shift.
No,
That's what I'm saying. They
You're not a
have
lady.
in previous. They
yes.
have, but yes, not often.
There was a
It's-
shot. I have to say, there was a shot. Because I watch on HBO Max, so it cuts to commercial, and it come every time it comes back to the match, it's like frozen, and the camera was at one point directly on Harley Cameron's. I mean, she was bent over; it was directly on Harley's ass, and it was just
I remember that
there.
shot.
It was just
I'm
there.
not- I'm not mad about that.
No, I'm not either. But I just was like, "Is this on purpose?"
Well, yes.
Clearly, right? I just noticed. I was like, "Wow."
Anyone else have anything to say about Blood and Guts?
Titties.
I now call him Mark Brisket, and he sounds delicious to me.
All right, very good.
So Ryan watched it, some of it at least, with his wife, and you both enjoyed the women's match. Like,
Yes.
what does it make you want to watch more of the women, at least?
I think
And
I'm not against it. I think she is more interested in it now because of the women. I know she was talking to a friend afterwards who's really into wrestling as well as also a woman, and was getting hyped up about it. So I think there's a non-zero chance she might. She was having matches recommended to her by other mutual friends. So there's a possibility.
Would
That's
you
how it
find it
happens.
weird to know that they usually only have like one women's match per show, and they have like 5 or 6 men's matches?
No, because that's what I remembered from last year, and I was impressed that the women's match was so big and went on long, and kind of everybody else was saying probably should have actually been the headliner.
Yeah, and now they just need to have like more than one a week. They're getting there because now they're gonna have women's tag titles. Like they are going to get to a point where there's gonna
Yeah.
be, hopefully,
Mhm.
or there's gonna be more than one swim match a week. So
well, and so 2 years in a row, and now I think we have a trend, guys. Yeah.
what would you
Um,
Ryan say was your enjoyment level? Like put it on like 100, a scale of 100, what 0 to 100?
85 during the women's, 40 during the men's.
So average, like 60.
No, I consider 50 to be an average.
So no, what would the average? What would your average? What
As
would
an
your average be?
overall. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I guess average because there was such a discrepancy, a juxtaposition between the women's match and the men's match, and then whatever was going on in the middle. How do you end up being the one dude on dude match, like a solo fight, when everybody else is doing cage stuff? Like,
Because he's the men's world champion.
And they needed to change all the blood out.
Yeah.
From
they kept them in the
between-
middle between the two rings.
Oh, that was on purpose. That was a graphic, a wrap.
I will tell you my biggest what the hell moment of the night was when the camera cuts and I saw who was in the middle of the play-by-play team. I was not expecting a mask.
Excalibur and mask. Yeah.
Excalibur. I knew where this was going.
He had a beard almost as white as mine and a lucha mask on.
Yeah, he was a wrestler who was injured and stopped wrestling and started doing commentary.
What's the line? Never drop kayfabe.
Actually, Danielson was also his one of his co-hosts was also a wrestler
Mhm.
who is no longer a wrestler. So he was murdered by the Death Riders.
Yeah.
Well, he's looking great now.
All right, this is running long. Anyone else have anything to say?
No, let's end it.
Anyone?
The women were finely tuned crush machines.
All right. Well, that's a good way to end it. Thank you, everyone. And follow us online at Lead City everywhere. If you've got this far into the podcast, you know who we are. Thanks a lot, and we'll be back next week. Later.